It's also about the grudge, again, that you're holding towards your father on behalf of your mother.
Why the fuck am I talking about him then? Because it makes no sense, nigga. I do not care about that. I do not care how much you love in the club, how much you love yours last time, how much myself. I do not care, bro.
Ain't shit for you because you grew up in a fucking 13-bedroom house. Nigga, I've been in that house. That shit don't mean nothing.
I did not grow up in a 13-bedroom house, one.
Well, anyway, you've been in there. You've been in it. It don't matter.
House.
He don't even be in that motherfucker.
That's what I'm saying. It's a different lifestyle. When you're accustomed to different shit, it's different, bro. So you telling me, hold on, I got a question. So you telling me your child should be privy to the same lifestyle as Elon Musk's children?
Listen, brother. One thing, me.
I'm asking you. No. Answer my question. Answer my question. Do you think they should be living the same lifestyle?
If they living with me, they live in my lifestyle. If they living with their mother, they live in their mother lifestyle. That's the way it go.
All right, so hold on, wait. So basically, hold on, talking about this is the point. This is the point,
What's
bro.
The point?
This is the point. This is the point, Choke. This is the point. So just because, if the child lives with you, they live your lifestyle. If they live the mom, so that means that they should experience two different lifestyles when you have the resources to make sure they live a certain lifestyle regardless. You that butthurt.
It ain't
you
about
that mad that mommy got new dick. Hold on, wait, time out.
No,
as you can see by the title of this video, this is the specific reason why I named it what I named it. Because his son is not communicating out of being hurt from a child to a father. He is communicating out of being hurt, being a woman to a man. So he's literally going against his father and carrying a grudge towards his father in the exact direct way that his mother is carrying a grudge against him, against the father. This is something that we've seen often when it comes to single mothers raising their sons, and they purposely get into the brain of their son and say, everything that I feel against this man, I also want you to feel it against this man. So whatever issues I have, I'm going to constantly expose them to you, speak to you about them, tell you every single detail so that you can not only be upset at him, but you can loathe him in the same exact way that I loathe him because of what he's done to me. And it's all over his communication. I mean, who would say, oh, about your father, oh, he's that butthurt over the fact that my mom moved on? What young man, okay, in the world that has experienced females, breakups, women, would think that a man who has a plethora of options is still hurt or upset because his first child's mother moved on? Could that be the only reason why he could be upset? Could it be because you guys are always on the internet talking about him? Could it be because maybe she hasn't gotten over him and is trying to change every narrative that it's him who's hurt over her? Could it be that? It could be. But to boldly say that your dad is upset because your mom moved on, and it don't look like he's too upset about it, it just goes to show the mindset that you're thinking through. And again, this when parents don't work out, when they break up, if the child is with the mother, it is the mother's job to turn around and make sure that that child respects their father, has a relationship with their father, shows love, communication, whatever it is, to that father. Not bad mouthing him, not turning him into her little son husband that she can tell all the information to, not trying to fill the shoes of the man in the house. That's not the job. That's not the job. The job is to make sure that they keep that relationship. That's the most important thing.
Your mother, wherever she go on and live on and do on, and I don't even think your parents was married. Like it don't work out. It don't work out. But that don't mean that she got
Cool,
to live.
and that's
she got to live.
That's
fucking
fine.
lavish
That's
because
fine.
I fucking had a baby.
What point do you say? Oh, I got a question. All right, so with you, your child's supposed to be wearing Louis Vuitton, but with the mom, you'll get that nigga some sketches. That's basically what you're saying. You okay with that?
What are you talking about?
Are you okay with that?
Am I okay with what?
I said, are you okay with that? If your child lives with you, they can wear Louis Vuitton, but when they go back to mommy, they gotta wear.
Is mommy buying you?
You'll be okay with that?
The parents are no longer together. It's as simple as that. When she is with the father who has finances, then everybody can be wearing the same things. But I think people forget that when two people break up, it doesn't mean that the father is supposed to take over full responsibility of the entire household. It just means that he is supposed to play his part. Whatever happens to the mother's part? How come no one ever talks about the fact that it's still supposed to be 50-50 parenting? So if he is supplying, his portion, she should still be supplying her portion so that there's a greater portion. Not you supply all this portion because you're not with me, and since you're not with me, I'm just gonna sit back and twiddle my thumbs because you should be doing all of it because you have more. It doesn't work like that. You're not together anymore, right? So you're both supposed to be fending for the needs of your child.
My mom bought me the same exact things that I have my pops. But I'm asking you a question. I'm asking you a question. Would you be okay with your child wearing Louis Vuitton with you and sketches when they go back to your mom?
That's
Would
what
you
the
be okay
mother
with that?
choose for them to wear. I'm not into the materialistic shit. I don't give a fuck.
Oh my! I'm not. Listen.
I don't care how you got it.
It's symbolism.
Child support don't make you a dad.
No, you got parents.
Who is this getting into the conversation? Who is that? Okay, who is that?
Yeah, that has nothing to do. First of all, I don't know why the money thing even
up.
came up. That's not even my main thing. I don't give a fuck about bread.
You brought it up.
I'm always find money.
Could you
I'm not even worried about that.
afford right
What
now
I'm saying
to
is,
pay
what I'm
your
saying
bills
is you.
and pay a chick $6,700 a month? Yeah.
Me? No, that's why I don't have kids.
Okay. Understand that, brother. You see how you say no? That's a hell of a lot of money.
And I guarantee you this. Brother. I guarantee you this, Brody. I guarantee you this, Chuck. I guarantee you this, Chuck. And I guarantee you this, Brody. Listen, when I do have a kid, and if we do separate, my child will be living better than me, if need be.
Even if
100%.
Even if they don't respect.
That's my responsibility. That's my responsibility. Okay. I don't give a fuck if the nigga don't like me. So live your life, enjoy it.
Yo,
I brought you into this world. I brought you into this world.
No, I'm asking you like.
It's clear that he wants a relationship with his father. Bottom line. It's clear that as, this tough guy persona that he's, portraying, that he's trying to show off, like, oh yeah, I don't need him. Who cares about him? Oh, he's whack for this and he's whack for that. But you need him though. And at the end of the day, your mom is wrong for that. I'm not sorry. Your mom is wrong for that. Because a woman can't raise a man. We've already shown the statistics where it shows that a child who grows up in a single father household is the same as a child who grows up in a two-parent household. But when a child grows up with their mother alone, it has major effects on them, right? So with that being said, any child that's raised by the mother alone is still going to be lacking something. But for a son, this is literally his DNA. Like, this is literally his replica. His other child don't look like this, okay? Every facial expression that he makes is literally his own father. The person he was swimming around in. And she's wrong for that. It should have been her duty to keep them close, to keep that relationship strong, to keep them loving each other, to keep them, close with one another. instead of trying to divide and conquer, because in your hurt, you want him to be hurt too, and you don't want to be able to do anything. So you're willing, because you don't want to lose out on the lifestyle, or because you're accustomed to a certain lifestyle, you're willing to put and tarnish your son's relationship with his own father because of how it makes you feel, and you're wrong for that. Look how many shows 50 Cent has. I'm just keeping it real, y'all. Look how many shows 50 Cent has. You would think that Tariq is his child. And that is actually Marquise's birthright. But what makes you think you're so deserving of anything? Right? What makes you so overly deserving of anything if you don't have respect for the man who literally made you alive, who brought you into this world? And a man who respects himself is not even going to allow his child to disrespect him. And nobody should be mad at that. Like, that's just keeping it real. I don't see nothing wrong with that, in my humble opinion.
I heard this is public record, him saying that he cut the check for whatever it was maybe in a year, or the full amount of child support to your moms. No?
Cut a check for what? Okay. What he said? He says like 1 point something, right?
Maybe that's.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
All right, you pay child support, right? Did you give one lump sum?
No, because I didn't have to.
Oh.
It's monthly.
Okay. But you have the option to pay it.
Yo, bro, you keep ringing the wrong bell.
Okay, listen. Child support, I believe, came around when I was 12 or 13. Or maybe 11, I think. 10 years of child support. 1.2 over, what was it? It was like $1 million, I think. What he claims is $1 million, right? It's $6,700 a month.
Okay, and that can't buy socks.
Listen to what I'm saying to you.
Right.
$6,700 a month, right? $6,700 a month in the state of New York City. You do the math.
Oh, I done the math. I've been in child support, bro. I went to jail for it. So I said, so
okay, cool. $6,700 a month, right?
$6,700 a month, right? You telling me a woman can't survive off $6,700 a month and not be working?
That's hold on, wait. Time out. Hold on, listen. Don't compare.
I'm from New York.
This is the biggest mistake everybody makes. You're comparing it to yourself. You're comparing it to yourself. You're comparing it to your life.
$6,700 a month for a single woman and a child. I could see if you lived in maybe Beverly Hills, that wouldn't be enough. But y'all can go get a nice little place in Long Island and be okay. And let's not forget that whatever money that his mother is working, because she's still supposed to be working. Okay? She's not supposed to be living this lavish lifestyle from her baby daddy funding, and they're not together anymore. Right? So $6,700 a month as a base, constant money that's going to come in your household every month to contribute bills, rent, cable, water, school fee, all that stuff. That's a lot of money to be able to do so. Plus your income from work. You already should not be wanting for anything. Does that mean that you're going to live in a mansion? No, not at your mama house. You got to go to your daddy house for that. But at least when you're with your mom, you should be more than comfortable. Again, because she should also be working.
You're talking about you got beef with everybody in the industry. You can't just live anywhere.
And if he's contributing $6,700, that means your mom's got the other half. It ain't just for him to fucking take care of you. She got to take care of you too. She got to work too, nigga. He giving up $6,700. Where's her $6,700 to go with his? Now y'all got $1,200, $1,300, $13,000 a month.
Oh my! See, hold on. Yo, choke. This is where you get it. This is where it goes down a bad path, brother. This is what I'm trying to tell you, bro. Yo, bro, 6,700. If I told you right now, right, you got to start your life over right now with 6,700 a month and rebuild your life.
Yes.
Can you do it?
With 6,700, I can.
You
with
have
6,700, yes, I can. Nigga, I'm from the fucking mud. I'm from Edo.
People have restarted their life over with way much more less than that. Okay, let's be honest. People have started their life over with way less than even half of $6,700 a month. But because he's accustomed, like he keeps saying, accustomed to this certain lifestyle, and because he's looking at what his father has, he's saying that's not enough money, that's a little bit of money, but to the greater population, you sound crazy. Because there's a lot of people who are working who are not making anywhere near $6,700 a month, and they got more than one kid. And they figuring it out. I understand what he's saying about the beefing or whatever, but there's ways around that. You can find somewhere else to live. You can move somewhere else. You don't got to be in the mixy part of town. You can go somewhere and be secluded. If that was such a worry for you, you can still live in a gated community at $6,700 a month. Let's be clear. But it's more than just about the money part. It's about the emotional attachment, number one, that your mother still has with your father is evident. And two, it's also about the grudge, again, that you're holding towards your father on behalf of your mother. Because this doesn't sound like a child scorn. This sounds like a woman scorn speaking through a child. Now we're going to hear an interview from actually 2 years ago where 50 Cent actually discusses his son.
When you pray for success, you don't necessarily pray for the things that come with it, right? And there's no such thing as success without jealousy, without envy, or entitlement. And entitlement is growing in someone you love, in the scariest part, right? And his mom developed an entitlement that cannot be met. Filtering that energy through his actual personal interests. Let's say now that he's starting to like females, he's conscious of what kind of shoes he want to wear. I need these Jordans, the retro Jordans is coming, different things. And then his mother go, all right, I'll get them for you, but it just bothers me because you're supposed to have them all. So while being a privileged child, he feels deprived. When you had everything I didn't have. I can tell you how much my kids cost. In New York State, 1.360. You see what I'm saying? And I don't have an issue with paying the support fund. The reason why I'm the way I am with those kind of situations, I pay my support that year that the baby's born. Move the money to the account, let it, and it automatically disperses a certain amount of money per each month. So with him, I noticed over the years like it developed, because I blamed it on his mom for a long time. But it's not his mother, it's him. Like I've gone places where he was at, he left.
Fifth, you love your son?
I used to. You ask yourself how long, a complicated question would say, how long can you love something that don't love you back? You see, so, and
the thing is, right, I understand what he's saying, because at this point, he's not a child, right? He's grown. At this point, he's big enough to know right from wrong, hot from cold, and we get it. But you see, when a mother knows their child's brain, their pattern of thinking, and when they get into that child's brain and they infiltrate that mind against their father, they can be 50 years old and still are operating out of the manipulation from the mother. Just being honest. So it is him, but it is still because of the residue of all of the information, all of the drama, all of the like he said when the mother, oh, you should have more, all of that downloading into that child's brain is still there. So it's gonna be hard again for him to see his father outside of the eyes of his mother. He can only see his father the way that his mother sees his father. He can't see for himself because when he was young and was only relying on his, the only parent that was in the household with him, on her point of view, it was all negative against this man. So how can he grow up and change that? You have to be strong-minded to be able to grow up and see things for your own self in your own way. And not everybody is capable of doing that, especially without therapy.
Look, and you say, I didn't think success would cost me my firstborn, but it's the situation. It's like my grandfather would say, if rather like a snake, if it slithered like a snake, is it a snake or do you need to be bit? Right? And that's the Aiken, South Carolina, and this the country, she'll say. And what he keeps saying is every time you see the boy, you show up with somebody you got a problem with. What does that take? People will always try to make relationships on a common bond of disliking someone. Like, be friends with you because your enemy is my enemy.
Yeah.
And he sees himself that way. To the extent where he's actually taking pictures with Preem's son or doing different things that, and you go, well, I'm like, I don't even understand where your motivation comes from with these things, but.
Can you excuse any of that because of how young?
And like, can you imagine like your son is a op? Like, can you imagine that? Like your son is a op. And he's doing it obviously for attention from his father, from all of that, right? But it's so mind-boggling that he's complaining about, living in a certain place and, we have to be secluded because my father has beef with everybody, but you're being friends with the people that your father has beef with. So what are you really talking about? So that means the $6,700 is more than enough because what problems could you possibly have if you're befriending the people that he's against? Like, that's insane to me. That literally doesn't make any sense. How can you go against the very vine that you come from? Regardless of.
No, he's 23 years old, 24 years old. It's not a baby no more, it's a grown man. See, I look at you as you've grown, the decisions that you make as you start to pass what they would have did to us. They would have charged me like an adult at 15. So at 23, it's like you grown in my head. My homeboys, they had their babies at 15. At that point in the neighborhood, that was when you actually got into, we started the sexual thing. You know what I'm saying? It started to really get into it, and everybody 15, 16 years old was the point that he was having kids. So like I was super late with him because I didn't want to have, something that I didn't actually connect with because we both was babies. At that point, and then later, all these things don't turn out the way you want it. Life just doesn't work like that. You know what I mean? And
what would have to happen for you guys to have a relationship again? That's the last question I'll ask about it.
I don't know. I ran into him one time. This is ill, right? Right after, it was 2 months before his support was finished, right? And at the time, he's standing at the desk talking to the jeweler, and he had a small diamond chain, 2 small diamond chains, trying to get a bigger diamond chain, right? Trading them, see how much you get that one. And I walked in, he goes, "Oh, you have somebody like watching me?" I said, "Nah." He said, "Oh, so coincidence?" He said, "Yeah, coincidence." Then he turned back to the jeweler, he goes back to talking to the jeweler, and he's like, nah, I can't do that. Now I'm like, because of how much the jeweler's asking him for. So he can't do it. But he doesn't realize that he's at the booth negotiating, putting 2 small diamond chains back to get a bigger diamond chain with the money I'm mailing him. His mother never had a job. She didn't do nothing. I would have questioned whether I was wrong if she did something after the fact. She genuinely did not want to do nothing. This girl looked me in my face and told me, like, she was like, "You bought Mike Tyson's house?" I said, "Yeah." She said, "So why you ain't telling me this?" I said, "Because you ain't moving there." Well, I would have had to leave them in Mike Tyson's house. Like Mike left his old lady in him there when I got it. You see what I'm saying? So, because they would have said he's accustomed to this lifestyle and this is what he would have changed the whole scenario. So when said, nah, you gotta go, you gonna get a place over here. I gave her the same money that I gave my grandmother to buy my grandmother's house, for her to pick out a house and buy her house. And you go there until you figure out what you want to do. You don't want to do nothing. You're not coming with me stand like that. She was like, you did it already. Don't nobody working down have to work. You already did it. Feeling like the records you already sold. If I was thinking like that, that's who I was. Yeah, it'd been over.
That's the thing, you know, again, he's speaking of her entitlement. And then when we hear the beginning of this video, we hear the same entitlement in the same tone, the same way of thinking from the son. So everyone is looking at this person to say, you should do this because, right? Like she might be having the mentality, you should do this because I was with you from before. And you should do this because I'm your son. And I'm going to be honest, especially as a grown adult, when it comes to respect, this is why I can only talk about the mother, okay? Because you see, mothers who raise their children despite their own feelings are blessed. You know why? Because they're not harming, tarnishing, ruining the relationship between their children and the other side of themselves because of how they feel. Because if 50 was throwing cash every chance that he got to her, and notice the son didn't talk about the fact that he gave her money to buy a house. But if 50 was throwing money to the mom every chance that she got, she would be singing a different tune. And in turn, the child, would be singing a different tune. And I'm having this conversation because, especially if your child is younger, okay, and you're a single mom or the relationship didn't work out or whatever, you need to be doing whatever it is that you can to keep that relationship peaceful, calm, loving, kind. When that child is grown, that child can do whatever they want to do. But in the meantime, in between time, you should be fostering the growth of that relationship because that is another part of themselves. If you don't like that man, too bad, so sad. You should have thought about that before you had a baby with him. Because when you have children, it is no longer about you and your feelings. It is about what's best for the child. The only time that it would make sense is if it was a harmful relationship, right? Restraining order, all that, that's different. But you see, if it's just because you don't like him, or you just mad he moved on, or you just this, or you just can't stand the side of it, that has nothing to do with your child. You should have thought about that from way before. Keep your bitterness to you and your homegirls. Okay, I would say to keep it to yourself, but I know that's not possible. Keep that bitterness to you and your homegirls, and keep it away from your children. Keep that loving relationship. It's so vital for your children's growth. It's so vital. And guys, I'm sorry, I had to have the whole conversation. Okay, I didn't want to have a piece of a conversation. I wanted to have the entire conversation with you guys. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear you guys' entire thoughts on this video. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you in the next one. Love you.